The first example of leadership we usually encounter in life is in the form of our parents. As we are children growing up, we see our parents as those who know what to do, know how to do it, know when to do it, and who can tell us what to do. They give us our orders, they give us our directions, they teach us, because teaching is really the main form of leadership. In growing up, I have many memories of both my parents in that role. I know that my parents are always somebody who I can depend upon, somebody who's going to be there, who knows what to do. They have my back, they can guide me, and they can help to clarify things for me. In the last 6 years, I've been a parent myself, and as a father, I find myself having to be the person that my father was and the person that my parents were when I was a child. I also have gained insight into the on-the-job training that is being a parent. Nobody is born knowing what to do. There is no instruction manual. You have to make it up as you go along, and you draw upon resources that you have, and in my case that means I draw upon my recollections of my own parents, and especially my own father. This past summer, I found myself in some circumstances that were unique. I was backpacking with my father, who's now 75, and my twin boys, who are 6. I've spent a lot of time backpacking with my dad from the time I was very young, from the time I was in elementary school, and have never felt too insecure about any situation, even though we found ourselves in some that were a little bit harrowing, partly because I always knew that I had my dad with me. I always knew that he could handle everything. Well, this past summer, on our last day in the mountains, we were getting ready to pack up to leave. My dad went for a walk. He got back to camp, and he had a tightness in his chest. He had difficulty breathing. He had many of the symptoms of a heart attack. And he himself was concerned, which made me concerned because my dad's not the kind of person who will take such things, will overly react to such circumstances. So I knew it had to be serious for him to be reacting the way he was. So I found myself in a situation where I was both father and son, father to my boys and son to my father, and I had to be the one in charge of everything. Now, I'm used to being in charge with my kids, and I'm also used to being very competent in those circumstances up in the mountains with my dad, but not in a situation where I could not depend upon him. One of the reasons, and this was the 3rd year in a row we've gone backpacking with my boys, one of the reasons I will take 2 6-year-olds up to the mountains and into the backcountry is because my dad's with me, and I know there are 2 adults for 2 boys, and we can handle it. So I had to find a way to deal with my dad's circumstances and both my sons, and be the role model, and be the leader, and be the reassurance to my kids that everything would work out all right, and that they could count on Dad, on me, to handle it for them, and to make sure that everybody would be okay, and we would get out of there, we'd get to the car, and it would be fine, even though I myself was worried. And I remembered things that had happened in the past, especially one time, a summer we were in Mexico City, and my mother and sister got separated, and we were in different cars, and there was an accident. And my dad in Mexico, not speaking the language, had to be that rock that I could lean upon. So many decades later, I had to be that rock for my kids, and I was abundantly aware of the fact that it's a role I had to take. I had to make it up as I went along, and in part I thought, what would my dad do? What did he do back in Mexico and in other circumstances? And be that person. And it's the same thing that happens in throughout life in other circumstances. The leader is the one who takes the initiative, who takes on the responsibility, may have an idea what to do, may have no idea, but has the courage to find a way to get the job done, and that what has to be done. And I think that's the underlying nature of leadership, and it is in its very essence a teaching role, the way my father taught me and I'm trying to teach my boys.